Lockdown has given people a chance to clear out their storage and unearth boxes of old vinyl, such as this collection of 60s and 70s classics, including The Beatles, Tangerine Dream, ELO, and a handful of records I think we'll just put to one side for now. Sometimes these collections can be a bit hit and miss when it comes to physical quality. Over the 40 or 50 years they've been part of someone's collection, they tend to find themselves left in the loft, or God forbid in the garage, so we have to take special care in ensuring what we put out in our stock is graded correctly and our customers aren't left unsatisfied with their purchase. So in this series I'll be showing my process of grading vinyl that's handed to us and how I clean and research each album before it hits the shop floor. In this episode we'll be looking at these original Pink Floyd albums, 1972's Obscured by Clouds and 1975's Wish You Were Here. Two albums which sandwiched the international breakthrough The Dark Side of the Moon in 1973. I'm Dom from 45 Vinyl Cafe. Let's see what's making the grade. Obscured by Clouds is the 7th studio album released in the summer of 1972 and was written as a soundtrack to the French film La Vallée and was due to be named La Vallée until the band fell out with the film's production company and changed the title. Although this album is generally overlooked by the casual Floyd listener, admittedly I'd only heard it for the first time when researching this video, this brilliant record bridges the experimental and psychedelic sound of their earlier material with the more commercial and digestible sound of their later releases. Here we have a first pressing, which can be determined by the rounded corners of the textured sleeve, an original inner sleeve, and the matrices in the runouts contain the suffixes A1 and B1. According to Discogs, this pressing was quickly rejected due to having too much high-end EQ in the mix, and therefore sounds different to the subsequent pressings and later remasters. This copy has some spine damage on all sides, but the inner sleeve and the vinyl looks in pretty good shape. There's some spot marks on the vinyl itself, which we might be able to remove in cleaning, but there doesn't appear to be any major scratches, so this will come out sounding pretty good. With a good wipe down with some vinyl cleaning solution and a microfiber cloth, the build-up of grime from over the years comes off pretty easily. Make sure you follow the grooves when cleaning, and always ensure that you're cleaning on a stable and flat surface so not to damage the record further. You might need to apply a little bit of pressure to lift off some of the marks, but unfortunately there's some pretty stubborn areas I can't get rid of, which may cause some noise on playback, but it certainly won't be unlistenable, so I'll give this one a very good grade. Wish You Were Here is Pink Floyd's 9th studio album released in 1975, and one which generally wasn't hugely well received upon its release, with critics finding the music uninspired and inferior to their previous work, but let's be honest, what do you expect with a follow-up to The Dark Side of the Moon? This copy is a first issue, but not necessarily a first pressing. This is determined by the cut corners of the inner sleeve and the matrices on the runout stamped with the suffixes A1 and B5, whereas the suffixes A1 and B3 are the true first pressing. Originally, this was released in a black plastic liner, but finding a copy with this intact is very few and far between. But here's a copy I have at home to show you what it looked like. This record has had quite a lot of love, and rightly so. The outer sleeve and inner sleeve spines are worn and split quite considerably, and I won't be able to repair these with a simple glue job. As with Obscured by Clouds, I've given this a good clean, but there's a few scratches and marks that won't shift, so I'll take it over the turntable and give it a listen through. Generally, I won't do this with every record, but I'll be happy in knowing these blemishes don't affect a playback. A bit of noise can be frustrating, but not quite as frustrating as a record skipping. There's a fair bit of noise, but it plays through without any skipping, so I'll grade this as good plus. If it's a record you want for your collection, they'll do the trick, but don't expect audiophile results out of this one. Now these records are cleaned and graded and ready to hit the shelves. That's all for this episode. All these records you see are available to buy in store, and we'll be back with more discoveries soon. Thank you for watching Making the Grade. Stay safe and happy digging.